right, we're starting off with Tubal Cain. He's got a nice pizza and he ain't sharing. I think that's a little selfish. We're all Fins fans here for the most part. That sounds real good, brother. Buffalo wing pizza is my one of my faves, but then that's a good one too. All right, guys. So we're gonna dig in. Big game. Commanders, Dolphins. Easing. People show up. But man, this was a hard one for me to kind of try to find my footing to try to give a good evaluation. It took me for a couple of days to really start trying to find film from another team they played this year. Um, I'm a New Yorker, man. That stuff's I was hot to trot, man. That's how I got my wife. She was from Jersey. She never even heard of it. She fell in love with the pizza, and then she said, "I'll take you too." Um, but I took if you want to see Tubal Canes, he's got the jammy with everything on it. That's a good one. That's a good one. I think I put not put the sausage on it because that might damage my stomach. The pepperoni and the sausage. Uh, Not in the old days, but these days, that's still a good one, man. Um, what's going on, Lucas? How you doing there, brother? Thank you for stopping by, man. Yeah, God bless you too, man. I was gonna say, but you mentioned it, man. I just it was really hard for me to work this week. My best friend in the world. I went to visit New York, and he had some problems with his pancreas. Went to the best doctors in New York. They said he was okay. Found out 2 days ago he's got cancer so bad he's got a year to live, wrapped around an artery, and they might think it's already in the liver. So if you guys, his name's Nino. Can you pray for him? Put good blessings out there. He's a great, great guy, and was a terrible, terrible, terrible turnaround. But you mentioned God and God bless, man. So I wanted to put that out there because he's just a great dude. Hey, JP from Canada, man. I can't pronounce that. That's French, man. I'm German. If I try to pronounce French, my ancestors will roll over in their grave. Thank you for stopping by, man. Yeah, dude. Oh, man, he's the best guy. He's my best friend. Super smart. Gave me all the best advice that I never took. And I'm supposed to go first. And this jerk off is going to die before me unless some miracle happens. You guys can put some prayers out there. So please try for my friend Nino. But anyway, I spent all week trying to find a good comp for the Dolphins against the Commanders. And I found the Seahawks game because it was post the release of Sweat and Young, and it still hadn't, obviously doesn't have the transition with Rivera, but they got two good receivers over there. They've got a pretty decent quarterback who's doing okay, and they've got a good defense. And for me, I found out a good comp, and from that game, I began to build out what I'm seeing this game to be. I think with Rivera taking over, you're going to see more zone coverage. That's what he tends to do. Last year, they played 10% less man and 10% more zone coverage. And I think that's going to be what we're seeing here. Something in the way of like how the Pats played us, maybe how the Eagles kind of played us, with a little bit of man sprinkled in because they got good men. I'll show you the stats. Yeah, thank you, brother. Thank you, man. It's so crazy. I don't never heard of nothing like that, man. You got diagnosed with nothing, and then in 3 months, it was like everywhere. I've never heard of that in I've never heard of that before. And he's got two young kids, and he was like the guy, Mr. Health guy, you know. Thank you, Lucas, man. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. Yeah, he's the best guy. You guys will love him. He's way better than me, man. He's like the super nicest, smartest guy. So anyway, yeah, but he's a rookie. He's not really their starter. They've got a guy. I'll show you later. He's like 6'3", 200, and he's been struggling in man, but he's much better in zone coverage. And he has that high 6'3", which is going to create angle problems. So if he drops into a zone, that length is going to cause a few problems. They're going to play man still, but I don't think the loss of that rookie, although he would have hurt because he runs a 4-3, and they're probably going to play a little of that too high safety with a little bit of man underneath. So it does hurt a little bit, but you'll see from all the breakdowns, this has that feel of like a Giants, the Panthers a little bit of even the Jets, because the Jets were kind of doing a little bit of the same thing, playing some high coverage, playing over the top, and I think that's what Rivera's going to do because this offense, and that's the thing, uh, um, Howell and this offense is not garbage like some of these guys like Mac and I don't even know I can't remember the guy's name over on the Jets. Some of these poor quarterbacks, and they got a decent offensive line, little holes. So when you go for the matchups and it's on the road, and it could be some gusty wind in the 13-mile-per-hour range, maybe a little drizzle. So I think this is going to be a scrappy game with a scrappy team. I think that we're going to win. Hold on a second. Yeah, Chris Brooks and A Chain. We're not turning the ball over the next 4 years. We have an identity. Yeah, yeah. I mean, that's going to play a big part in everything. If you notice, even Kurt started showing that receivers are having problems with the hot route. I had said like 2 years ago that the league was going to turn to pass balance. The run game was finding its way back, and there's a lot of reasons for that. There's talent cycles. And every time somebody's got some new gimmick or new thing, or they even alter the rules, it's lag time to when the rest of the league catches up. And um, this past game is getting it's curtailing, and so the run game play a huge. Yeah, Howell's going to get his yards, and he's mobile. I'm going to get into the whole thing. I spent a lot of time on this. I wanted to get my brain away from my buddies, so I really tapped in. Hold on a second. Yeah, we use 78 IR spots. The wind's still down, but we don't know who else is going to be injured. And they're not sure. I think they're going to hold it to see what happens. He'd be big. Back. He's not great. He struggles in the run game, struggles for his power. He's got an injury history, but he's better to me than Cotton. He's better than Eichenberg. He's more portable, and he's got more experience. So it would be big if he returns. Yeah, I definitely do. I definitely do, brother. I definitely do. He's sort of there, But right now, I just trying to reach out to his family and stuff. But yeah, we're gonna talk. Uh, it's just terrible, man. I remember having to tell my family I think I'm gonna die like 2 years ago, and it's just like this draining away. You just feel like it's almost like you hear like a vacuum, all the time. Like I think I'm gonna die, man. Still, but I got lucky. I was out of it. But now he's in that state where it's like, and my old friend who we're friends, he's like grim, and he works in the medical field, and he knows all the top doctors. And he's like, this is so rare and everything. It's just a bad spot. So I don't know. Anyway, oh my, we haven't won the division without Tom Brady being just. Oh yeah, I know. It's sweet. It's not a big though, man. It's not a big. It's in there. This is a big one. I thought the Jets game was going to be tough, but that is terrible. This is more of what I thought the Jets game was going to be. This is our game. If we can stamp this one out, and it looks like Tehran's going to play, it looks like Hunt's going to play, and Connor's going to play, and that's a big deal. If we get this one, I think that the Monday night game against Titans is scrappy, but we're home. We should win that one. The Jets, I mean, I don't see them at home being able to take care of it. This is the one. We can take this one. We can knock off those 3 wins because last year we were 8-3, and then we went on a losing streak. And that Dallas game, that Ravens game, and Bills game is going to be tough. The Bills might not be in it, but it's still going to be a tough game. So anyway, let me show you. Look at this schedule, the Commanders, to show that this is a scrappy team. I mean, they're 4-8. It's easy just to blow them off. But that's a dangerous thing to do. Now you look, they played the Bills, they got blown out by the Bills. They played Philly, they played tight to Philly, but they're a division team. You can't expect that. You can see there's a couple of not so big games, Chicago, Atlanta, New York. But then they played Philly again, another tight game, division game. But they played Seattle in Seattle, and I watched that game, spent a lot of time, and that was close. That could have gone either way. then obviously the Dallas game in Dallas, and they got blown out. But this is a team that you don't want to, you don't I almost messed up, man, I almost X'd out of the show. So they're a team that is kinda scrappy. Hey, John, what's going on, brother? Beware of the Bills. I'm feeling an upset in KC. I think so too. They got more to lose than KC. And this whole thing, um with Von Miller's bad, but I don't think they're gonna go out like that. I don't think they're gonna go out like that. I just don't. Um, Bills are done, lost to KC in Dallas. Well, it's not in the books until it's in the books. They lose to KC, they're done. It still means it'll be a tough game for us at the end of the season, but at least we don't have to worry about them creeping back into it. They could pull us down from our slotting that we need, but I don't write teams off, man. We were written off. How many times did people write us off last year? We lost to the Bills. We lost to San Fran. We lost to Chargers. I was like, we are not done. You're not done till you're done. We ate it last year. This is the point where we'll see exactly. We're in a much better spot, though. That's the beautiful thing. We're ahead of the Bills. We are in a much better spot overall in our slotting. But yeah, Nicholas, brother, how you doing, man? Yeah, this is it, man. This is the big one. Now I'm gonna go over Howell here. I'm gonna show you what's going on with him in this off. Now, Eric Bieniemy is a darn good coach, man. You watch this guy call. Howell's only in his second year, and there's some issues going on. There's a lot of turmoil, but he's built this thing up. I think KC is missing him big time, big time. So, all right, so the TT team, we're starting the orange box first. Yeah, man, hit the like button. That's good, man. Algorithm gods will be happy and so my sponsors. Thank you, bro. So TT is time to throw, and this is PFFs. So this is even with sacks included. But now if you go to next gen, it's without the sacks, it's 277. Okay. And then if you look at Pro Football Reference, they talk about when you throw the football or pressure, and that's 241. And so if you look at that, you see the pressure starts coming in at 241. But the ball gets held at 281, including the sacks, because he's so mobile, he can drag it out a little bit. But overall, all the throws involved, it's around 277. So it's that 2-4 mark that we've got to really start getting after them. Now, if you look at Howell, he is a better quarterback than you might think for a young guy. On target percent, number 12, 12th in the league. And you're going to see all the pressure this guy's getting. Surprisingly good. Bad throw percentage, 27th least, only 13%. So this guy, you want to get after him. He's mobile. He can make some throws. He's not, a great quarterback, but with these stats and the pressure he's experiencing, this guy actually could end up playing. 10-to-air yards, middle league, 7.6. So they're not a short game. Complete air yards, 5.2. Again, it's around middle. But YAC, and this is a concerning fact, they're number 2 in YAC, and we miss tackles. Missed tackles is going to play a big part of this. Hey, Amy, what's going on? Good luck, Finns. We'll get the dub. I'm hoping. Thank you. Even though I need Washington. Oh man, I can't. I feel bad for you, Yvonne. Sister, I really do. That sucks, man. It's a disaster. That's a disaster. Thank you for stopping by. Even though you're a Bills fan, it's nice to stop by. Yeah, Howell will take a sack quite a bit often. He's young. He just not able to go through his progressions, and so yeah, he does. But he's. I mean, for a second-year quarterback. You pick mid-rounds. I'm very impressed with them. That guy at least is going to be a backup. It is. The coaching situation's a hot mess. But Rivera is going to see a good transition from Del Rio. It's not going to be that big a deal. And Bieniemy is going to be an anchor. I think Bieniemy might actually take over the situation. So I would say it is a mess. Doug Fascio, and you've been on point this season. Yeah. So, hey, brother, what's going on? Mac, good to see you, man. Good to see you. I don't think were you here last week? I can't remember. But anyway, thanks for stopping by. Um, so I think this is going to be a scrappy game. And for me, one of the concerns is the missed tackles, and we're going to have to get the pressure. We're not going to have Phillips. And so that's going to be putting a spotlight on what can we do without him. Now, they're number one in the league in sacks, 55. Yeah, Tubal said that with the sacks. But they're number one in being blitzed, too. So they're getting the sacks and the blitzes. And that's going to force Fangio, who's been brilliant at dialing up the right blitzes, but maybe to dial a little bit more than that. Bats, number one. That's another problem. Getting the hands up, and that's where Wilkins comes in play. And maybe Van Ginkel, Phillips definitely will. Pressure, most, 23.8. That's going to be key. That is going to be the key to the game. Us making tackles, they've got two good receivers, and us getting pressure a sizable amount. But we're going to have to dial up more blitzes, which is going to put some, I think, a little bit of concern out there because Fangio likes low blitzes around 19%. So it'll be very interesting to see if everybody can do their job without Phillips. Nicholas, what's going on? The enemy is called a heck of an offense. Yes, but Fangio is going to smother Howell. It's too much of a difference experience now. Maybe if you look at the Washington defense, they were one of the tops in the league last year, but they went hot and heavy on the man, and they struggled a lot. Rivera is more of a zone guy, and so you can see a lot of that over coverage, and you can see like a Jets game, Panthers game a little bit early on. You could see like the Patriots. Now, here's the thing to be concerned with. They do give up past yards, and there is problems with that. But they make their tackles, and they're allowing 31st least 59.9% completion percentage. And so what that says to me is they're going to try to slow us down like these other teams have done, add a little bit of man in there, a lot of zone, high zone, and make us earn our way down the field. But this offense is way better than the Patriots, way better than the Jets, it's way better than the Panthers. And so it could be a challenge. I do think if Tehran plays, Hunt plays, and Connor plays, I'll show you why. The run game will be big for us. They do run the football, but what they'll do is they have a lot of backs coming out. Both their backs, Robinson and Gibson, are extremely dangerous. So they can run the football. They're around 15, 16. It's not that they don't. They get the yards per. I'll get into it right here. They run RPO fourth most. And so they'll get their runs out of the RPO, and sometimes he'll take off. They don't run much play action 20th, but the yards before contact from the offensive line is 14th, which is pretty good. Broken tackles are 5th. Yards after contact, 14th. Yards, total yards, 19th. So they aren't chumps. And I'll get into our fronts and our alignments, and they run some similar alignments that we run. It's going to be – this is a pretty good offensive line. They got some holes, but I think that they're going to be more balanced, and they are a little dangerous with that run, especially with those backs coming out. So I don't think they're going to kill us in the run game, but they get an efficient run game along with an efficient defense, an efficient pass game, and maybe not the best weather, and we're not on our game, it could be a problem. If we're on the game, we're going to win. We'll take, I don't know, maybe a couple here or there, but Fangio is notoriously slow to trust. So, Washington is 25th in rush yards, but there's some reasoning for that too. Sweat and Young kind of gave up a lot of that stuff. The guys they got replacing them are more run stoppers and they're not getting after you with the pass rush fast. They're bull rushers, and they're going to run big guys at you, and they're going to allow the coverage to get covered sacks. Where before they were trying to get after you with speed. Let me get into that first. Let me get into that first here. So you can see right here. Where is it? Is this it? Okay. No, that's not it. Yeah, that's it. All right. So this is their offense. Let me get the big screen on here so you don't have to see my mug. Hold on a second. Do I got to be on here? Do you hear me? Sound go out? What happened? Anybody hear me? Bueller? Bueller? Anyone? Give me a heads up. Oh, I didn't know I did that. Sorry, thanks. I'm still a rookie at this. Oh, sorry. Take myself off the screen, my little face up there. Oh, I'm an idiot. All right, I'm still a rookie. What a jackass. Anyway, so I'll start from the beginning. So they got two good tackles. They've got Cosme, a really good guard. Now, because they got those two good receivers, Fangio's not going to run his base with where it's five guys across. He's going to run a lot, likely, kind of what he did with the Chargers, the four-man across, the nickel look. And you're going to see that Sealer, who's been struggling a little bit about the run, Davis and Wilkins are going to have to deal with these three guys inside. And that could put Baker and Long be exposed. Could. I'm not really concerned about the run game. If it's efficient, it could be a problem. It's coverage that concerns me. If Holland's not in, if Holland, thank you, brother. Thank you, guys. I'm a dummy, man. I'm a tech dummy. I thought you could put yourself off. I didn't want to see my face over here. I wanted to take it off so you can just look at the image. I guess I can't talk. I don't know what I learned. Anyway, if Holland's not in, guys, that changes stuff. Elliott's played well. Jones has played well. That's not a lot of speed there. That's not Holland. Holland's the best in the league, man, in the top two or three. And so there's going to be a little bit of concern by Fangio if Holland's not in. He injured both his knees. It's crazy. And so he's going to play a lot of that nickel. And I think he's going to do a little bit like the Chargers game where he's like, all right, I'm daring you to beat me with the run. Wilkins is playing unbelievable. Chubb is playing unbelievable. Dan Ginkel, we're going to have to control that run. But these backs, number five most broken tackles, and they catch out of the back. And we've had a few problems here and there. It's going to be very interesting to see if we can hold our stuff together, hold our zones, and how we're going to handle this. So I do think this is going to be a dangerous offense for us because they're going to be able to control some stuff on the edge with these tackles. Again, Howell's not the best thing since sliced bread, but he can be mobile and he can cause us some problems. Um, if Howell's not in, guys, that changes everything. The safeties are the primary position for this scheme. Let's hope somehow Holland gets in there. Let's hope Teron and Hunt's in there. If this is all the case, we definitely win. Each one of these pieces that comes out, it's going to complicate things. You got to really, I really think that, you can't overlook what these guys, what this team could do if we're missing pieces and we don't play our best football. Uh, he's going bye. Nah, they're gonna keep. They'll sell a grandma to keep him. He's too big. It's just a problem. We drafted really high point players, man. He's gonna get a huge contract. JP, hey, thank you, brother. Take it easy, man. Thank you for stopping by. All right, so that's what we're seeing there. Now, I'm gonna give you a little bit of notes here. Washington ranks average or slightly above average in team coverage metrics. Their top 10 man coverage team, as you can see the top here, 18th in allowed yards per coverage, explosive play rate, they hold that down to 14th, the defense's success rate 12th. So again, this is a quality defense, and if they can put some points on, it could cause problems. We don't turn the ball over. We don't cause big penalties. We've got this, but it's going to force us to play like we really, really are going against a good team. Are on the road, and again, the weather could be, piss poor. So this is us going against their D. The run game to me is going to be critical. I think, is Eichen Cotton might not play. So that means Eichenberg would be slotted in that spot. It'll be Cotton or Eichenberg. You got Eichenberg over here at the right guard situation. I think Hunt is playing. I think Tehran is playing. And so you can see clearly that inside two of Connor and Hunt can expose that sort of soft inside of the skins. Don't say that. Oh, the Commanders. They did. They did. It's played decently. I mean, that like Del Rio played a lot of man coverage, and they did really good in man coverage, but they'd be breakdown. And so Rivera took over, and he's going to play a more patient style. And we'll see if he can call better than Del Rio. Del Rio is getting desperate, and part of the desperation was the offense was making mistakes. But their pass rush is obviously diminished. But the guys they put in there are a little bit better run stoppers and bigger, and so they're gonna kind of stop the run, play some zones, and try to play like that patience game, kind of like what the Jets did to us, what the Patriots did to us. So I think ultimately we could break it open with something you saw with the Patriots, where you got Connor and Hunt a double and he gets to the second level. Because if you look at these guys, Payne is unbelievable, but they've got some okay guys inside as far as the run stop. Their edge, their cornerbacks are stellar in run stop. And so that zone stretch to the edge, I don't think it's going to be there. I think zone stretch and comeback, cut back inside might be. They've got good over the top guys as far as their run defense. But to me, that inside zone again is going to be interesting. I'm hoping Cotton plays. I think Cotton could do a little better for us than Eichenberg, but I love Hunt and Connor together. To me, that could be the big play, much like the Patriots game, to break it open with Achane or Mostert. So to me, the run game is going to play because I think they're going to slow us down. And I think, ultimately, obviously, they've got some pretty good corners. They went against Metcalf. They kind of slowed him a little bit. Uh, and they got two good guys over there. So they're going to kind of slow things down. And we're going to have to be balanced. Now, I saw them having weakness to the screen game. And if you watched last week with the Jets, I had never seen so many screens in my life. And McDaniel called it perfectly. He cut the pass game down by about 30% as far as intended air yards. He went more to short game with it, really precision strike deep plays, but then he kind of stretched things out with those screen plays. I think he's going to run a sort of similar game plan as he did last week against the Jets, this week against Washington. So that's how I'm seeing it. I think this is going to be a game that's going to be like 21, 27, 27, 23 or something like that. It's going to be, I think it's going to be one touchdown game. If the weather's great, we don't have turnovers, and we play smart, then it'll be a two-score game. But if the weather's bad, we make some mistakes, it could get dicey, if that makes sense. Uh, so does all that stuff make sense, guys? You got any thoughts, any questions? It's the way I'm seeing it, man, because if look, our tight ends are not blocking great. I'm hoping Craycraft gets back. And so this zone stretch stuff, when you go every time I see them have good corners, run stopping corners, it gets held down. But now that we got Connor and Hunt inside, those 2 guys can move people. Payne, though, could be a pain in the neck. So that's what I'm seeing. They got a little problems in their linebackers coverage, which means we can get some of our usual stuff off. But those safeties over the top, are going to be able to hold it down and play over the top. So this is going to be a very methodical game. Yeah, I need to do some more studies on special teams. I'm just a football snob. I really don't. We need to do much better. We can't be missing field goals. You saw what happened to the Bills last week. 2 missed field goals, lost them, and changed the direction of their season. So I think this is going to be a good game. Now I think that fans, if we could pull this off, this is a big deal. This is an NFC East team, a physical team in their house, maybe with bad weather. We usually lose these games, and it's going to be a tune-up for this Ravens game, which is going to be this game on steroids. And so I think this is a very critical game for evaluation. They need the game where they can put the backups in the third. Yes, yeah, John, you're so right, because these body blows are piling up. You see guys limited, questionable, but they show up. But when they show up, they're injured, and now they're taking more body blows. And it's going to the Titans are going to hit us very, very hard. We get a little bit of extra rest, which is nice. And then the Jets are going to do the same thing. And then Dallas is going to do the same thing. And then Ravens are going to do the same thing in the cold. And then we're going to play the Bills again, and they're going to do the same thing. We're going to need a bye week. If you don't get that bye week, that first week is going to be huge. And no, injuries are big, man. Injuries are going to play, especially on this offensive line. I'm a little concerned if Teron plays. This could be a slip field. If you look at that front, they're not fast guys. They're all big dinosaurs. And they just punch you and bull rush. And the swim moves and the spin moves, all that stuff, you're less likely to get injured. Guys just slamming in, bull rushing you, pushing you, because then you get guys in the backfield colliding, and that's how you can have injuries and stuff. So this is a dangerous game. If we come out without injuries, it's going to be a big, big deal. So, yeah, John, I totally I concur 100%. I do think we're going to win. Teron's in, Connor and Hunt's in. I think we win a close one. Collins in, I think we win pretty easily as long as that weather is nice. I'm expecting a very good game. So that's it. And guys, any questions, any thoughts? Am I a monkey at anything? Tell me if I monkeyed it up at anything. Yeah, running backs. Man, watch those running backs. Those running backs are really good. They made big plays on Seattle, and Seattle's got a ferocious secondary. They're an unbelievable secondary, guys. And these backs kind of carved them up a little bit. Yeah, they are. They are. Allen, I'm surprised. Allen's kind of on the downturn as far as his run defense. He's still generating in the pass rush. But yes, and they're all big. They're all big. So Tua is going to play a big piece in his Hill Waddle, getting his ball out quick. But I love what I saw from McDaniel last. People don't understand how smart he was last week. It gave me last week's win gave me more confidence in him than any game we played so far, because the screens he called, the dialing down of the depth of the plays, the route combinations, every single thing, and the continual run game showed a huge growth in this guy as far as thinking macro and being. I know the 4th down and 2 people don't like it. They don't like running inside. I kind of understand it, but on the grand scale, it was a beautiful, beautiful game. I know any given Sunday, but I kind of feel confident the Dolphins don't beat themselves. This is a very different than most. Yeah, well, I mean, we every people say that we're sloppy, and we are, but every team is. If you look around, all these top quarterbacks, there is no Tom Brady out there right now who's like at the high touchdowns, low inch really, and managing things. Every team is scrapping out because these defenses, down cycles have gone to the defenses. The defensive coordinators have figured things out a little bit, and it is getting to it's a nitty gritty game where everybody's kind of making mistakes, but you gotta kind of slow down some of these. You cannot give this team a big six. That's definitely not what we want. This, I think, is going to be a scrappy game. I mean, I could be wrong, but I'm just hoping. It looks like when you look at the weather, bad weather is kind of past. It was we were right in the heart of it, and it's kind of been pushed out a little bit. They're saying like 50% early on, some like light stuff, and maybe like 13-mile-an-hour gusts. It's noticeable, but it was looking way worse. The weather is going to play a big deal for us, and the run game, no missed tackles, handling these running backs and getting pressure. So those are my keys of the game, guys. Anything else? Any other thoughts? Any other Bueller? Anybody got any ideas? I appreciate all you guys do. I'm sorry, my brain is still off with my buddies still thinking about that. So don't mind me if I'm a little discombobulated. But you guys are the best. I appreciate everything, man. I really do. Guys, have a great. If we win this one, just very, very happy. This is a huge win. We got to. Hopefully, sorry, Amy, if you're still here, but hopefully you can couple it with a Bills loss. Don't tell my man Tom. All right, guys. All right, everybody. I appreciate it. Have a great Friday night. Thank you for stopping by. You're the best. You really are, man. Super Kane, you're a greedy man for not giving us any of that pizza. I'm not going to forget that. All right, guys. You're the best, man. Catch you all. Go Fins. Enjoy the weekend.